Out here in practice, Tyler Guyton, second-year, first-round pick, starting at the left tackle spot. He goes down with an injury, got tangled up with Tyler Smith. Ezraku, the NFL Network, reports that it is feared to be a torn ACL for Tyler Guyton. Everyone starts to freak out. Then Todd Archer reports that Tyler Guyton's ACL is intact after an MRI, and he has a bone fracture that will not require surgery, looking at a 4 to 6 week recovery.
Quite the roller coaster this week in Oxnard, California. The ins and outs of Cowboys training camp continue to keep Cowboys Nation at bay, just outside the bay here in West Coast territory, alongside Isaiah Stanback and Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Youmans, live from the River Ridge practice facility for the Cowboys in training camp 2025. It's good to be back out here with you, gentlemen, and it's good to see this Cowboys team back in action. Of course, we just heard about Tyler Guyton's injury and the timeline that led to ultimately a 4 to 6 week absence from this team. Let's start there. I mean, how big of a loss is this for the Cowboys to have their left tackle out, Nate, for a significant portion of time?
You know, starting last year, he missed a significant part of training camp. This year, with a new offensive line coach in Connor Riley, a new scheme, new techniques, he's missing it again. This is going to hurt him. I mean, it's going to set him back. You usually want to go 20 games, 20 regular season games before you judge a guy, but this thing is not turning out well for Tyler. Get well, Tyler. Get back. Get healthy.
Yeah, it's a bad situation for Tyler Guyton. First of all, hopefully he gets well and gets back to form, if not better than he came in. But these are important reps that he really needs to get, especially with the joint practices coming up. You know, obviously Jared Verse, opportunity to go against him as the blindside tackle for Dak Prescott. As Dak Prescott's coming off an injury, there is a sense of urgency in terms of that trust factor and knowing that he can sit in the pocket and throw the ball, and then Tyler Guyton knowing that he can handle some of the best that the NFL has to throw at him. So this is going to be dearly missed from both perspectives, from the guys that depend on him and for himself to be able to help with his development.
Now, the good thing is he's not out for the entire season. He doesn't have to miss what would be a year two that is crucial to his future as a former first-round pick. Now, he's not the only one out as well. Multiple injuries have stacked up throughout Oxnard's first week and a half of training camp for the Dallas Cowboys. A couple other young guys that missed time last year. Kalen Carson out for a little bit of time here with a knee injury. You've got Robert Jones, who was signed to a one-year deal. Even Terrence Steele has missed some time. Paris Campbell, who was signed to a one-year deal, out for some time. I mean, it happens. Training camp injuries are a part of football and a part of the early parts of the summer. But Isaiah, it feels like this injury list continues to grow a little quickly compared to years past.
Yeah, and it's not just the Cowboys. The whole league seemingly is having a bunch of injuries. I mean, you start talking about some of the ACLs, some of the things that we were actually able to avoid potentially here. But we have a lot of guys coming back from ACLs as well. So injuries in general is a part of the game. It's a physical game. But the reality is a lot of these are kind of non-contact injuries that are kind of just things that happen to you. These guys just have to do their best to get back to getting some reps because this team needs you. And it's hard for a team to really develop and turn into what you want to become when season comes up and week one shows up when you're spending time on the sideline.
You know, I tell you, everything Isaiah said is so true. But the physical part of this, what they're getting in now, the speed at which they're doing, I know I'm jumping a little ahead, but the speed at which they're doing it, this is going to happen. When you're trying to deal in the NFC East, this is the top division, you're going to have these type practices. So, hey, let's go.
That's the thing. The physicality has to be there. There's going to be an element to that Brian Schottenheimer warned about when we were back in OTAs, and that physicality has certainly translated to the field out here in Oxnard. When we come back here on Special Edition, there's a new $52 million man. Jake Ferguson signs a 4-year contract extension. How does that affect the Cowboys offense when we come back?
Special Edition, presented by AT&T, is brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Reliant, official energy provider of the Dallas Cowboys. Blockchain.com. Invest like your icons with Blockchain.com. And by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. This segment is brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas.
$52 million later, Jake Ferguson signs a 4-year extension with the Dallas Cowboys. Here's his reaction on X, thanking his family, thanking the front office, thanking Haley Cavender, his new fiance, as well. He's going to get to afford that ring a little bit better nowadays with $30 million of that guaranteed. He is the highest paid Cowboys tight end in franchise history, back alongside Isaiah Stanback and Nate Newton. I'm Kyle Youmans. Let's take a look at where he ranks among Cowboys in franchise history at the tight end position. He's 7th on this list, which actually coincides with now the 7th highest paid tight end in the NFL entering 2025. Jake Ferguson, $52 million richer. Isaiah, what's your expectation following, or what is your reaction following the signing?
Well, I hope he has a Brinks truck to go ahead and back up because the man is paid now. But no, he's due that, right? He's gained that respect around the league. He's gained that respect with his teammates, and it lets you know how important he is to Dak Prescott. He is somebody who has done nothing but produce since he's been in the NFL. He has grown immensely underneath the lineage of Linda Wells. Again, he's become that security blanket for Dak Prescott. And on top of that, he was injured last year, which is why his numbers were down, but now he's back and seemingly better than ever. He's a part of that three-headed monster that they have. I know you hear a lot about CeeDee Lamb and a lot about George Pickens, but you can't talk about those two without including the trifecta, and that is Jake Ferguson.
Jake, I should be your best man because I've always been in your corner, man. So, just throw me about $500,000. I'll be good. But, Jake, hey, you deserve this, man. He's having a great camp. Yeah. He's back to being his physical self. He's trying to run through guys out there on the field. He's excited about being back, and he's been the most consistent wide receiver, tight end out there on the field.
He certainly is trying to return to the type of form that he showed in the 2023 season where he was one of the top tight ends in the NFL. Here are the expectations that both he and his offensive play caller, head coach Brian Schottenheimer, have for his 2025 season.
This whole football journey and getting to this point, it's money, but it also doesn't change things. I still have to prove everything. I still have to get out there in between the lines and work my tail off. And, the ultimate goal is winning as many games as possible. I don't have a ceiling for myself. I try to come in each day with one thing to work on. And, that's my focus that day. I try to stay where my feet are. Don't try to look too far in the future. Don't try to look too far in the past. So just being where my feet are and trying to be as consistent as possible. That's my goal.
Excited for Jake. Everything he's done. Last year, obviously, he didn't feel like he had the best year, but I think it just shows you we're always evaluating everything and things he's done for us from a play temperament. The enforcer that he is, he loves football. He's got that throwback type mentality. Just really, really excited for him. And anytime you get a chance to, get a guy done, which there's a number of guys that we're working to get done, you're excited for him. Jake's last year wasn't to his standard or to our standard. There's a lot of reasons for that. He got dinged up a little bit. Quite honestly, there's ways that we should have used him a little bit better. I need to take that, but I think what we expect is the Fergie we had 2 years ago. And the big play guy for us down in the red zone, the contested catches, guy that Dak trusts. He had a big play yesterday on a free play situation for him. So we expect Fergie to have a terrific season.
So the expectations very high for Jake Ferguson following the contract extension. But Nate, what are your expectations and what do you want to see from him going into this season?
Just be physical, help with the run game. We know you can catch. We know you can go up that seam real nice, but help with that run game because they're going to try to put something in special for you. And if we can get that run game going, you that third option.
Yeah, I completely agree with Nate here. I think that if Jake Ferguson can return to his former self and exceed that in the blocking scheme, okay, whether that be in pass blocking, but especially in run blocking in this new running offense, which is going to be a running offense, I think that opens things up tremendously for him in the receiving game because when they do opt the pass, it's going to be out of play action, which that is what his quarterback number one, Dak Prescott, does best. But also whenever they line up to simply pass and passing downs, You have George Pickens, you have CeeDee Lamb. They have to double one of those guys. Guess what? You're mano-a-mano with a linebacker or a safety. You're winning that all day long.
I know what Nate's answer to this, I think, would be, but do you feel like he's earned this contract extension, Isaiah, when it comes to the $52 million and to be the highest paid player? Do you think he's earned that with that one season in 2023 and what he's become?
Yeah, that's the thing. So the thing when it comes to contracts, I'm going to say yes, right? Yeah, first of all, is yes. But when you're talking about contracts, it's not about just what you've done. Right? From an organization standpoint, it's about what you're going to do. Yeah. You're not getting paid for work that you've already done. It's a combination of both. It's what I've done, right? I've proven my worth, but it's also where my potential is and what you see me doing and adding to the team in the future. So I do believe that he is worth everything that he just got.
There you go.
And remember, it's about trust. Yep. Can the ownership and coaches trust you to do your job? And he's going to be that guy.
Hey, and here's some of the ownership that had the chance to sign Jake Ferguson. On the other side of the break, we'll catch up with Cowboys COO Stephen Jones out here on the campus of Training Camp 2025 in Oxnard.
This segment was brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. This segment is brought to you by the NFL Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan.
A look at the River Ridge Golf Course just outside of the campus grounds here in Oxnard, where Nick Eatman sat down with Stephen Jones to talk through some of the key storylines of training camp.
Jake Ferguson, what went into that? Why did the timing of that work out for you?
You know, Jake's going to be out of contract next year, and this is his last year. And certainly Jake stands for all the things we want in a Dallas Cowboy. His football character is supreme. He's got a lot of talent to go with it. He's certainly got a quarterback who's got a lot of confidence in him, which certainly makes a difference when you're looking at what you're going to pay somebody. You know, Dak obviously has, holds Jake in high regard. So just made a lot of sense for us to get it done. He was wanting to get it done early. He wants to be a Cowboy. He loves being in Dallas. And like I said, it just all came together in pretty quick order, and hopefully we'll get more as we go.
When you look at your offense, you've added Pickens. Obviously, you have CD. You're going to try to run the ball. Tight ends sometimes is the guy that has a chance to have a huge year. Do you guys look at that and go, we better get him signed before the price tag goes up?
Definitely some of that, especially getting Pickens in here now. There's going to be a lot of distractions between CD and Pickens, and that's when a guy like Jake can sneak right under the radar and really get some big production, I think, for us. And obviously, like I said, his football character is supreme. He's tough. He plays the game the right way. And, he could have a big year for us.
When you have the injuries, I keep bringing it up, but the good part about it is at this time of year is that it's opening doors for other people. Can you think of some positions, some spots, maybe at cornerback where you're seeing more reps for a guy because they're just so open?
Well, certainly between Kyer Elam and Booth, they were really putting some good things on tape. Booth obviously had a little hamstring strain. Hopefully we'll get him right back out there. Unfortunately, Carson's had some nicks. So hopefully we can get him back out there again sooner than later. But it does give some of these guys, some opportunities, and that's what you look for, somebody to step up.
I know I asked you last week about Brian Schottenheimer, and I'll ask you again because it's still new and you're still seeing more of him. What are some of the things that you as we go into our second week of camp, what are some of the things you're seeing from Brian and his staff that just stand out?
Well, I think the biggest thing, and everybody feels it, it's energy. And it's not just with the players, it's with the staff, it's with the organization. He's so authentic in everything that he's about. He's all about competition. You look around the camp, there's always little papa shots, or there's little golf matches going on, ping pong matches in the team meetings. That's just what he's all about, is that energy and competition. And I think everybody feels it, and it's so well received. And I look around the league and I see other teams practicing, and you might see an interception from another team, and there's nothing like what happens out here when one of our guys get a pick or something like that. You got players, staff running down the field, and it's just I think it's a very positive thing for these players and our organization.
You can catch all the conversation between Nick and Steven on DallasCowboys.com. The fans have been impressive here in Oxnard. Who else has turned some heads as training camp practices roll on?
This segment was brought to you by the NFL Fan of the Year, presented by Captain Morgan. This segment is brought to you by Salvation Army, doing the most good.
Back here on Special Edition in Oxnard, California, alongside Isaiah Stanback and Nate Newton, I'm Kyle Youmans. Who has impressed the most, and what has impressed you the most about this camp so far? Nate, I'll start with you. You've been to quite a few Dallas Cowboys training camps. What stood out to you so far?
The tempo and speed of the way they do things. That they have taken out the one-on-one pass rush, the one-on-one receivers versus DBs. He wants to see 11-on-11 setting, and he wants the plays going up tempo and fast all the time. There's not a lot of standing around there. They got a coach out there, I don't even know his name. He got a top hat on his head, look like it's an afro, but he's running around just waving his hand. Tempo and speed, it keeps you in shape.
I love everything about it. You're absolutely correct. And alongside with that energy is competition. And it's compete every day. That's exactly what I guess really the foundation of this team is. You want these guys to show up and have to earn it. There's nothing that's given out here with these guys. And they're proving that by allowing competition to actually take place, whether that's at a running back position, putting in Kevontae Turpin in the backfield, Miles Sanders, Javonte Williams. It doesn't matter who's back there. At the offensive line position, Tyler Booker's been pulled out of the starting position for not showing up and doing what he needs to be doing. They're rewarding guys who are doing well. And as an athlete, when you can see that my efforts are being rewarded, then I actually have a level playing field and I can actually truly compete.
That's a good one, and I think you've seen that throughout. Even Brian Schottenheimer talking about Micah Parsons competing through Connect 4 and different elements in between team meetings just to try and find a little extra competition. Mine's along the same lines, but mine's going to be the energy, which has been extremely high, and then the physicality, too. This has been the most physical camp I've seen, even though the pads have only been on a couple of times through this past week. Even from the beginning, when shells were on early, these guys are hitting, and they are hitting often. I really like what we've seen from the physicality from this football team, whether it's the defense or the trenches. It is radiating from sideline to sideline. It certainly has been a whole lot of fun to watch. One guy that luckily has not been very physical in camp is Dak Prescott. He celebrated his 32nd birthday this week and got a big card from his family members that are on site here in camp. It is a family atmosphere that Brian Schottenheimer's trying to build. We'll wrap up Special Edition when we come back.
This segment was brought to you by Salvation Army, doing the most good. Closed captioning is brought to you by the Texas Lottery. Play the games of Texas with the Texas Lottery. Play today. And to watch more Dallas Cowboys content on your connected TV, download the Cowboys Now app on Amazon Fire, Roku, and Apple TV. Special Edition, presented by AT&T, was brought to you by your North Texas Ford dealers. Ford is the best in Texas. Miller Lite, the only beer of the Dallas Cowboys. And by AT&T, official sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys.
Don't forget, as training camp rolls on, the training camp preview of the Dallas Cowboys Star magazine is available now. Get your copy today with previews and scouting reports for all sorts of players throughout training camp, available now at dallascowboys.com/stars. We wrap things up going into the end of week 2 of Cowboys training camp in Oxnard. Isaiah, who are you watching this weekend?
Have my eye on Joe Milton, backup quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. I believe that he is going to have plenty of opportunities this preseason to prove exactly why they traded for him. I believe they're going to put bubble wrap around Dak Prescott. But my eyes are definitely appealed on him because there's a lot that I think he has to prove. Not only coming from the situation he was in New England, but now he's in Dallas. And he has to show that he can command the offense. He has to show that he can communicate. He has to show that he can throw accurately, that he is not going to just simply rely on his skill set, which is his legs. He has a lot to prove, and I think he's going to have plenty of opportunities to do so.
Wow, that's a lot. Tyler Book is my guy, and he ain't got a hard job. He just out there doing what he need to do. He's run blocking well. He's got improve on his pulling. When he pulls, he seems to be missing guys. But you know what? Poona Ford of the Rams is coming next week, so you'll get a dose, baby, to take his soul. You say you're the soul snatcher. I want to see.
Just so everybody at home knows when the Rams are coming, here's a look at the schedule of next week's schedule for this Cowboys team out here in Oxnard. Of course, Tuesday, the big day circled, and then the first game of the 2025 preseason coming up on Saturday. Plenty more to come from Oxnard, California, and we will be with you all the way through on DallasCowboys.com. For Nate Newton, for Isaiah Stanback, and our entire crew, I'm Kyle Youmans saying so long. We'll see you next week with more Special Edition.